Oh, we're live.
We are live. Yeah. Look at that. It worked.
Yes.
Live to tape.
Yeah. Indeed. Hello and welcome to episode number 853 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. Not appearing on video this week because my webcam apparently is broken. I don't know. It won't recognize me.
It's got to step up and recognize.
For reals. But hey, I'm joined as always by my co-host with the most bloast, something like that, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
Hello. You see, I take 1 week off and I forget what I'm doing.
CJ's really thrown off his game right now.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
Webcam's
yeah,
not working.
I know.
Doesn't have his
Between
intro
just coming
ready.
back and
The what?
technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
CJ, don't worry. We've got your back.
Well, thank you. At least somebody does.
And clearly, Greg and I know how to handle a show by ourselves. So
Clearly. So I guess I'll just leave. See you guys later.
have fun. There we go. This is nice, right, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
This is how it used to be.
I'm just gonna finish my snack.
What are you snacking on there, Snacky?
Snacking on some arachids.
What am I looking at?
Planters.
Arachnids?
What the heck is what?
Honey
the heck
roasted
is that?
peanuts.
Honey
Greg
roasted,
is eating arachnids.
Mm-hmm.
honey roasted.
What is that? Is that French?
That is French.
What is that? Is that French for peanuts?
That is French for honey roasted peanuts.
Okay.
That's
Well,
French for
mon Dieu.
diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Big heaping helping.
There you go.
Honey roasted peanuts are quite tasty.
They are tasty.
Source d'énergie.
Oh,
Oh,
that means a source
de
of energy.
fibre.
What's that?
fiber.
Fibre.
Fibra? That means, yeah,
You can get
fiber.
you can get your internet on that too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Can I speak French?
No.
And I just didn't realize it?
No, I can confirm that
We.
you have never been able to speak French.
Oui.
I've heard you try.
Allô? Je Juan, allons-y. Sois chat, les poutoirs.
Weirdly enough, Diabetes Spiders was the name of my punk band in high school.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad band name.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I see.
Welcome back, CJ.
Hey, it's good to be back.
You missed us so much.
I did. I watched a good portion of the show last week.
Really?
Yeah. And then I
Oh.
listened to it podcast style, like a listener would.
Oh,
Yeah. Once
Like
the
some
episode
filthy
was out.
commoner.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't.
Well,
didn't
I hope you
listen to
liked
the
what
whole
you
thing
heard.
while editing. Yeah.
and how could you?
It was fine. It was just fine.
Wow.
No, it was good.
It was
I-
absolutely mediocre. Congratulations.
I especially liked the road rash talk, and if you listen to the episode, I of course made
Mhm.
Rusty Cage the outro
Great
song.
Great
There you
song.
go.
Fantastic song, and
It's
that was
no-
a fantastic version of Road Rash. I really liked the 3DO Road Rash.
It's no spicy placenta.
But what is?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why didn't they make a 3DO version of Skitchin?
Oh, did somebody say kitchen?
Because Kitchen sucked.
Whoa.
Phil, how much Skitchin have you played? And
I don't know if I've ever played
Yeah,
Skitchen.
honestly, have you ever played it?
I don't know if I ever have.
I have.
and would you play it on stream?
Oh, no. No, it's I mean it's legitimately that bad that I remember one year someone requested it for Extra Life, which was an hour-long stream, and I don't think I made it.
Oh, wow.
Like within 10 minutes, you want to turn it off.
Is that right?
Oh, it's so bad.
I
That's
see.
that's heartbreaking.
That is
Well, I'm not going to be the one to tell Skitchen guy.
Haunting starring Poltergeist is clearly
Nah, that's a different story.
Yeah,
the
this
better
is
game. Yeah.
If you could take the Skitchen soundtrack and put it in Haunting starring Poltergeist, now we've got a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spicy haunted. Yeah. All right. Should we talk about some video game news?
Was there any?
There's a few things, yeah. By the way, Lance Reddick is in Horizon Forbidden West. It wasn't just Destiny that
Okay.
I was mentioning.
So
that
he was in
before.
2 games I haven't played.
And Quantum Break, which
Oh, I played that.
Quantum Break, yeah.
Yeah.
A game which I really enjoyed.
Was
Quite
good.
enjoyed.
Oh.
Yeah. But he shall be missed. But let's talk about Lord of the Rings Gollum. Which has a release date, May 19th, I believe.
That's Star Wars Day.
I thought that was May 4th.
That's May 25th.
Oh, wait. Okay, May 25th is the release date for Gollum.
What's
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh,
what's the
well.
release date for Zelda?
Zelda is shit. I don't know. May 12th.
Because that's just, I mean, the release date for Gollum is so close to Zelda. I was going to ask if Gollum was developed by Guerrilla Games.
Oh, there you go.
Mm.
May 12th.
It's kind of a tradition. So
Okay.
Yeah. No, Zelda.
What is, you know what? I'll be honest. I've not followed what Gollum, like the game is. Is it just like a third-person action game, or
It's a story-driven action adventure in which players embark on a quest to retrieve the
Wow.
One Ring.
so does it end with you jumping into a volcano? Or spoiler alert, I guess.
No, I believe it's supposed to take place during the events of Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, so is it based on that
Oh.
like crappy CGI character that you got a glimpse of in Fellowship of the Ring that didn't look anything like the final version of Gollum?
Well, considering this is not a movie licensed game whatsoever, no, it is
Oh, okay.
not exactly that.
So it's you following around the hobbits trying to steal the ring from them?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh,
So is this a result of whatever that company was that bought the rights to the books?
No, that's
Or-
Embracer.
that's Embracer, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
that
not an
bought
Embracer
that.
thing.
This is not an Embracer thing. No, this is
So
pre-Embracer deal.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So Embracer bought that stuff after Gollum was already in the works.
okay.
Yeah. But there are a couple gameplay videos out for this. I don't know.
Is it going to be like Space Ace where you're playing as Smeagol most of the time, but then you get a power up and you turn into
Super Smeagol?
well, no, you would turn into
Super Smeagol.
to Gollum at that point.
I guess. Yeah, will you think Smeagol will play at all? Like the beginning of it, that'll be like your Samus having all the powers thing,
yeah.
and then you turn into Gollum and you have nothing.
Oh,
It's gonna be interesting to see, because this is another one of those situations where the rendition of Gollum in the Two Towers and Return of the King movies is so iconic at this
It
point.
is.
right.
Yeah.
That anything that it's like, what do? Do you go completely another direction? Because I feel like everyone's just
can't.
going to be like, you can't, because I mean, it is based on, of course, the character in the actual books, but
Mhm.
at the same time, you want to try to get as close as to what people love from the movie, but you're never going to be the same. It's like, to me, it'll be like the same situation that we had with Avengers, where it's like, hey, look at all those not MCU Avengers on the screen. There's not Captain America, like
You go full Rankin Bass with it, and make
I
him
mean,
look like a lizard.
The character does look very similar
he
to
does.
the
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture there.
to the movie rendition of Gollum, but yeah.
But I don't
So
know,
there
man.
you go.
That's gonna be it'd be interesting to see if they
Yeah.
succeed.
Oh yeah, he looks a lot like
Movie Gollum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But was he motion captured by Andy Serkis?
Right. I mean,
No.
if it's not Andy Serkis's voice, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. May getting a little more crowded because Lego 2K Drive
Oh,
is coming out
yes.
in May. This, I think, is the game that comes out on the 19th.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, May
Okay.
19th. Lego 2K
I pre-ordered
Drive.
this game.
Did you really?
I did.
All right.
I did.
Oh, What got you interested in this? Just because
Lego.
it's a Lego game,
It's
or
a 2K game, and you know I love 2K games. That's the only
all their
thing.
sports games are your absolute favorites?
That's the only thing that interests me.
I was gonna say, look
Huh.
behind Phil, and you'll see thousands of dollars for Lego. Although what I am seeing is a bunch of empty Prime boxes. I think they're
Oh.
Amazon boxes.
Yeah,
Are
right
they?
down there.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
a couple.
Yeah, I've gotten some stuff lately. We got some manga for my kid showed up.
That's manga. I believe you're trying to say manga.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I got some Transformers. I'll have you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, so Lego 2K Drive is a AAA driving adventure, is what they're calling it.
Yes.
That's a weird thing to call it.
Open world, open world driving game. Phil, this is not generally your genre, but of course you love the Lego.
I do.
So
It's true. I do enjoy Lego. So
yeah, and this
figured-
has some vehicle customization
Mhm.
options as well.
Mhm.
You gonna get into that? You into that whole deal?
Well, I mean, it was into that with Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clearly, oh, that's true. That's true.
I really enjoyed the Hot Wheels game.
Of course, clearly they're trying to copy off of Tears of the Kingdom, since that has vehicle customization as well.
Right. That
So,
seems the most logical
yeah,
course that they were going for. Yeah. No, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, the trailer looks very interesting. I almost got a little bit of a Lego City Undercover vibe from it, a little bit, but it's not the same developers as Lego City Undercover. Lego City Undercover was Traveler's Tales,
Yes, it was.
and this is Visual Concepts, so
Yes,
a
it
little
is.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But allegedly, this is the start of bringing out Lego sports games under the 2K label.
Oh, is that right?
So,
okay.
Wow.
yeah.
Is there
Wow,
so
big
I
reaction from
assume the
Greg
big
on
I
that.
assume the big pre-order for Phil was isn't there a set coming with the game?
You do get a little set. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I
really?
think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a little Lego car that it has multiple. You can build it as a little car or as like a boat or as a different type of vehicle. I forget exactly what the third mode is, but yeah.
It was like a Spy Hunter set.
I mean, it kind of looks like it.
huh.
You know, a Spy Hunter set would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be very cool.
They do. Lego did. You will recall with Lego Dimensions have that Midway deal.
Mhm. They did.
Isn't Spy Hunter in Lego Dimensions, like the
I think
actual
so.
old arcade game?
I believe so.
Yeah, because there was a good dozen or so
God,
Midway
Lego
arcade
Dimensions
games.
was good.
What's that?
Lego Dimensions was so good.
Oh,
I
it
was
absolutely
I was
was.
not a Toys to Life fan at all, but I couldn't get enough of Lego Dimensions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very fun game.
And 2K Drive will probably be pretty fun too.
I hope
Maybe.
so.
Yeah. I hope so too. The trailer looks
Oh.
good. So,
Yes.
and it has a split screen co-op,
Mm-hmm.
looks like. So,
You can drive around in a hamburger,
I mean, why wouldn't you want
a
to?
Lego hamburger.
Yeah.
Sounds crunchy.
I like it.
I mean, Lego wouldn't be soft to eat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that
I
makes
guess
sense.
that's
Hamburger's
true.
food.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, Greg, you may not be into Lego 2K Drive, but maybe you'll be into this. Sonic Origins Plus is coming in June 23rd to be exact. This will be an
Sonic's
update
birthday.
it'll be an update for Sonic Origins that includes some extra stuff. So you get 12 Sonic Game Gear titles. You get to play as Knuckles in Sonic CD, and for the first time ever, Amy Rose is a playable character in Sonic 1, 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles and Sonic CD.
Yeah, this is pretty great because this actually is going to bring that set much closer to what I said I thought it should have been. Where again, there are so many Sonic games, even if you're only counting the 90s.
Yeah.
That I felt like, Sonic Origins was a good idea, but they didn't go nearly far enough with it. So the fact that they're just basically dropping all of the Game Gear Sonic games into this set, I think it's a $10 DLC pack.
That's
If you
right.
already own the game,
Yeah.
or it's being released as Sonic Origins Plus in physical form, which I don't think there is a physical version of Sonic Origins.
There
So
is
that's
not.
I know people are
That's
excited
correct.
about that too. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited to. I will definitely be grabbing that and downloading it for my current copy of Sonic Origins.
Well, I wish
only-
they were putting.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say I wish they were putting the Master System games on there.
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
bit, and I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll go that extra mile. I doubt it, but I also didn't see this coming either.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
and the only other thing that I was going to say is that I wish they would put Knuckles Chaotix, because you're
Yes.
going this route anyway, right?
Mhm.
You did the remakes of the 4 or 5 original games, depending on how you count Sonic and Knuckles. And these I don't believe are going to be remakes. They're just going to be emulated versions of the Game Gear games. So, but now you've got a really beefy collection of Sonic games. Why not get those last few in there and just make this the comprehensive like Sonic 90s collection?
Well,
that
because
would be
then you
great.
have to do a widescreen version of it. They probably
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. I
No?
don't think they're doing that with these Game Gear games. I can't.
Well, they
imagine
aren't.
are.
No,
No.
So
they're not.
I mean, just recategorize them. Just because they've done that with the sort of the marquee titles doesn't mean they have to
Mhm.
with all of them.
Well, you got to
Um,
save something for PlayStation 6 and
Jesus.
Xbox Series Z.
But anyway, it'd be nice to see, Master System 32X. I don't think was Sonic Spinball in Origins. I don't think it was. I'm not a Spinball fan, but why not get it in there?
Right.
Just because, like it or not, Sonic Sonic Spinball was a mainstream Sonic game.
Oh, absolutely.
It was the stopgap title between 2 and 3, right? So, yeah.
Well, maybe they'll update it once a year with extra stuff, and they'll add another word to the end of the title. So this is
Sonic Origins
plus.
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 I mean, they did all this on the GameCube 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
If you remember,
right.
there was like the Mega Collection and the Mega Collection Plus and the Gems
but
Collection.
not widescreen. But not widescreen.
You're really hung up on the widescreen thing.
Yeah. What's
I think we're talking about two different things.
not
Yeah, we're-
16:9 high definition.
Greg and I are more concerned about the actual games on the collection.
Yeah.
Well, I'm concerned about that too. Yeah.
I mean,
if it's not widescreen,
you're really hung up on this whole resolution thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotta be HD.
That's Sonic's
gotta go
trademark
fast.
slogan.
I know.
Gotta go HD.
Gotta go HD.
Yeah.
Gotta be high def.
anyway, nice to see. I mean, again, I did not expect this at all. I didn't expect them to come back to Sonic Origins Collection at all. So really excited
Yeah.
that they're adding some stuff.
Indeed. Yeah, that's good news. All right. Well, Atari is acquiring Night Dive Studios. Night Dive, of course, worked on Power Slave Exhumed and what else?
Did they do the Doom 64?
Yeah, they did Doom 64. They did the
Updates.
Turok updates,
Turok.
Shadow Man, yeah,
They do
and
good
System
work.
Shock as well. Yeah, they do great work.
Yeah.
So Atari is going to acquire them.
Yeah, that worries me.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because you want them to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always leery about companies like that getting acquired because Atari doesn't feel super stable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And when the time comes, when they have a bad year, will Night Dive be the first thing on the chopping block? Will they shut it down to save? You know what I mean? Because we've seen that thousands of times in the game industry. So,
Well, that's true.
know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they will get to work their remake magic on Cybermorph and maybe
my
make
God.
that a good game. That could be cool to see them do Stun Runner or Hard
I would
Driving.
love to see him. That, you know what? That would be a fantastic set of games. I don't know how
Yeah.
well a collection of those would sell, but even released as like budget downloads or something.
Yeah.
Because that's another example of there were some very important games in the arcade, especially hard driving.
Yeah.
So getting like an arcade perfect hard driving, because for as important as that game was to 3D video games, I don't think there's been a good home port of that game ever.
Yeah.
It'd be of hard driving.
Hard driving. Oh, was it? No. Yeah, maybe
I think it was on
not.
like one of the Midway collections.
Well, there was that
like
Midway
PlayStation 2.
collection. I think it was the third
3.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, that was all like all, if not mostly, driving games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The controls sucked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it would be great to see stuff like that, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with these guys.
Yeah, I'm wondering what of Atari's IP would be a good fit for Night Dive. Like a Night Dive having done like a lot of first-person shooters.
First-person stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Atari doesn't really have any of those in their collection, unless you count Aliens versus Predator from Rebellion. But
I mean, that would be a great one to do. That would be another one to be great to see a remake, because
sure.
I mean, people were excited about that game back in the day. I remember trying to play it though, and for as good as it looked, the frame rate issues in that were so bad.
Oh yeah,
it would be great to see that game with a smooth frame rate and with twin stick controls. Yeah, I would absolutely play that.
But then shouldn't you just get Rebellion to do that, since Rebellion is still around?
But maybe they don't want to.
Maybe they don't want to. Yeah, that's possible.
I was hoping that Night Dive would get around to like Hexen and Heretic and stuff. I don't think they ever did. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. I don't think so. Well, let's wrap up the news with this. Apparently, they're making a video game based upon The Last Ronin, which is a 5-issue comic miniseries in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe.
That is true.
Done by the actual creators, right? Eastman and Laird?
Eastman and Laird, did that comic series, correct.
Yeah.
So, this will be a single-player 3D third-person adventure RPG. Not a sort of nostalgic arcade style beat 'em up.
Well, when you put the link on the outline, where it just is a darker, and I think it's just the headline, a darker, more mature Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game is in development, I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh, really? Like, is this something we need? But then when I clicked on it and saw, oh, it's like this 5-issue series that the original creators did.
Right.
In like 2020 or something like that. I actually, this is pretty. I'm excited to see how this turns out. It's pretty cool. Because I mean, cool. The original Turtles were not the Turtles that were popular that we all know. They weren't the cartoon Turtles. You know, so it's cool that something that's more Eastman and Laird inspired, is getting a game. Hopefully, it's well done.
Absolutely.
The comic is, it's kind of a future story where there's only one surviving turtle.
Don't say which one.
I won't say which one. I'm not going to say which one.
Yeah.
But there's only one turtle.
Yeah. That's right. But apparently they're going to maybe have flashbacks for the other turtle stories.
Apparently that happens a lot in the stories themselves. So
yeah.
I read that and all I'm thinking is, oh, the other 3 turtles are going to be summons.
Well, it also this piece and this announcement doesn't really go into who's developing the game, and I think that also matters kind of a lot as well.
A whole lot.
So
I'll be honest with you. The fact that the Last Ronin comic is from a couple of years ago. Well, no, that's not. I think it was just last year. Yeah.
Well, last year was 2022.
Oh no, it was from 2020.
So it is time anymore.
It's okay, Phil. Time is condensed to the older we get.
That is true.
I mean, the 90s was still only 10 years ago. So
it's been a few years since the comic came out. It's they've said it's gonna be a few more years before this is developed.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have. Do they have a publisher?
If they do,
it doesn't appear. So
okay, so they don't have a publisher.
Global who was talking about it.
They don't have a developer.
Yeah,
I'm worried that this will never actually happen.
Quite possible.
Yeah, that's my fear, is that this is an idea that someone had, and it's a great idea,
Yeah,
but
Right.
I'm a little worried that we'll never
it'll
actually
never
see
happen.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that, we can get into what you've been playing.
Oh,
That was quick.
I
yeah.
know, right?
My gosh.
Seems quick, but we're 25 minutes in. I think it's a good time for this.
Okay.
I'll kick us off. So last week, Chia came to
Chia.
Plus. Yes, the game where you play a girl who can possess various items and animals.
Is this a
And
haunting sequel?
no, it is
Oh.
not. But it is, the developers are based in New Caledonia, and that's like the setting for the game as well. And they even at the beginning of the game have like a big intro talking about the culture of New Caledonia and how much the game has been influenced by the culture, the food, the music, the people of New Caledonia. So pretty interesting cultural lesson there. And
Here's me being an idiot American,
you don't know
quietly typing New
where is
Caledonia into Google.
same here. Apparently
It's a French territory
great.
off the east coast of Australia.
Yes.
It
Yes.
turns
You guys
out.
didn't know that?
I did not know that.
No. Of course. Well,
Embarrassing.
you know it because you're Canadian. And you got the whole French connection going on. Yeah, you eat honey roasted arachnids, for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
No, we
Exactly.
have this. New Caledonia is not something they teach in American schools.
No, they don't.
Along with, never mind.
Along with a lot of other things.
Along with
Along with a whole lot of
lately.
stuff.
Yeah.
Rosa Parks. That's another thing we don't teach in U.S. schools anymore.
Jesus.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow. So anyway, this is like a 3D adventure game, and it's got a little bit of light combat. I've only just started the game, so I've only done a little bit of combat.
Yeah.
And mostly you are possessing items to then fling into the enemies and destroy them. They kind of look like they're like fabric based enemies. They're like made of cloth, and you burn them. That's the trick to it. So you have to kind of hit them into a fire. No,
Okay.
no, not really. But it looks pretty good. Although I've heard some folks have had problems with the frame rate. It is 30 frames per second on PS5, and it does use motion blur, which I don't really mind that at all. But what I do mind is I don't like the map. When you're in like a 3D open world setting and you don't have a good map, that really like takes me out of things. Like you can bring up the map, but there's not really like a good, the way the map is designed, there's not like a good beacon that says this is where you are, and it's not like centered on your position at all. So you kind of have to find yourself on the map. And even then, it just sort of like circles a region that you're in, but it doesn't tell you exactly where you are. That's all I want in a game. Just tell me exactly where I am on the map. And it doesn't seem like that does that. So, yeah. But it gives you, it's like giving me a bunch of fetch quests as well. One of them is like find 3 pearls for the chief of this village so that you can make him a gift. And that would be fine, except I have no idea where to find pearls. So
usually in the ocean.
I went in the ocean, couldn't find any. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm just kind of wandering around now, seeing if there are any other story missions that I can pick up that eventually will lead me to an area where I will find pearls. But yeah, it seems okay. Like the combat's not
This is a glowing review.
not great. I don't like
Seems all right.
I don't like the map thing. I mean, it was a free PS Plus game, so I'll take that.
Hmm.
But I'm not as in love with it as I thought I might be, because this was supposed to be like Breath of the Wild, uh, in an island setting, like a tropical island setting, and that was sort of what the previews had billed it as. So I was pretty excited about it. And it does have a mini game where you're playing the ukulele, and it's sort of like a Samba de Amigo setup where the notes are all around this sort of circular menu, and when you're supposed to press them is like the timing of icons that come in and like meet the circle in the middle. So very Samba de Amigo like.
Yeah.
But you're sort of doing a Guitar Man thing with the analog stick where you're pointing at those circular areas and then pressing a button to do it. But you can have it autoplay too. You can skip that part. You don't actually have to play those. But
so if you're not good at rhythm games,
you don't have to. You can just press the button and sit back and enjoy
the game and yourself.
Enjoy the song. Yeah. There's no penalty.
Sit back and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. But
your body is a wonderland.
Well, thank you, Greg. I didn't expect to hear that from you, but all right, I'll take it.
Didn't you?
So yeah, Chia.
Chia.
I'm kind of mixed on it, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Well, maybe it will grow on you.
Like a weed.
Like the pottery.
Like the little pottery.
grows.
Yeah. Gotta spread the seed packet on there and then water
spread your seed.
Spread your seeds, CJ.
We'll see what happens.
Your body is a wonderland.
There you go. So I also played some Dead Cells.
Hey,
you talked about that a bit last week.
bet I did.
You know, I watched your stream, Phil. It was very informative on how I should be playing.
I was on the stream too.
No, I watched Phil's
stream. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah,
Phil's Dead Cells stream.
Oh, that was the stream that we told every single one of our Discord members was live.
That's the one. That's the one.
Right,
so of course I watched it. We notified them. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I played a little bit more of that on the plane to San Francisco and had a blast with it, and got pretty far, I think, in the Castlevania DLC. I got to the death boss. I didn't beat death though. Like I had him on the ropes.
Nobody ever does at the end, CJ.
He did an attack that decimated me. Like I had maybe 3/4 health. Yeah. He did one attack that just killed me in one shot. So
well, you should have dodged that one.
I guess I should have. I wasn't ready for that. So now I got to do the big slog back up the tower or something like that. I don't know if it's going to make me do all of that again. We'll see. But I
mean, you know how these games work, right?
Yeah, but in the Castlevania DLC, there is that bit where you lower the drawbridge on the castle, and you don't have to redo that again.
You do not have to lower the drawbridge again, but yeah, you still got to work your way back to death.
I'm sure that I will have to do that. So, but I'm having quite a bit of fun with it, and I unlocked some new outfits as well.
Yeah,
or at least blueprints for those. Like, how do you know how you actually? Because I unlocked some blueprints for for new outfits, but I don't know. They didn't appear to be unlocked, so I don't know.
I believe clothing blueprints are called patterns.
Well, I don't know.
Sounds weird to say
called exactly
blueprint for an outfit, but I mean, I'm no fashion plate. I don't know, but
you know how in between the areas when you're back in your little prisoners' quarters, and you go and you talk to that one person who you give the orbs to upgrade, or not to upgrade, but to unlock new items and things.
Yeah.
The costumes that you have found the patterns for will appear on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you will just have to unlock them as you would a new weapon or a new mutation skill.
Well, hey, that makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Of course.
Yes.
Did you actually learn something about the game while watching me play?
I did.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Look at that.
Quite a bit.
Look at that.
So that was very helpful.
Oh,
Your
I'm
stream was very
glad.
helpful. Yeah.
I love that. That's the exact reason, CJ, why I wanted to stream,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of like, show people who maybe are having trouble with the game, oh, here's some stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Here are some little techniques.
That's
Learn to
right.
dodge, learn to parry. Do that little downward
I did not know how to do that before watching your stream. Yes.
boom, look at that.
Yeah.
Do that little downward slam when you're dropping down to levels.
Yeah.
Because it stuns enemies, it does a little damage.
Yep. I did not know that either. So I learned a
Sometimes,
lot.
let me tell you this, sometimes
Yeah.
you can get an item or a power up on one of your weapons that will cause it, when you do that little downward floomp and slam,
Yeah.
where it'll set the ground on fire, which
Yeah.
burns enemies. It's great.
That's very helpful. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I streamed again the other day. I played a little more, and I finally unlocked the Castlevania stuff
Nice.
in my PlayStation version of the game. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, hey,
I am playing it on Switch.
by the way, I saw that apparently they're doing an actual a PS5 port of Dead Cells, because right now it's just
Yes.
PS4, and they're releasing a physical version on PS5 that has all the DLC, including the Castlevania stuff.
So this will be how many copies of Dead Cells that you'll own?
Physical copies. This will just be my second.
Oh, you have Switch and
I did buy a physical version for the Switch, but I do have it digitally on Switch and PS4 and Steam.
and I think it's on Game Pass.
And I do have the Xbox One, but I did not pay for that because it is on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good game, though.
It's a great game. I love Dead
it.
Cells.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yes.
All right. I also played a little game called Deceive Inc. This came out last week, same day as Chia, actually.
Are we talking ink like in a pen or incorporated?
Incorporated.
I see.
Incorporated. Yes,
Okay.
it is a social deception hero shooter. Maybe
like Among
extraction
Us?
shooter is more like what you do. But in solo games, up to 10 players are put inside this map, and your identity, all the players' identities are masked into that of NPCs that will sort of walk around the environment. So there are already like hundreds of NPCs walking around, and you are disguised as one of them. And if you shoot or use a melee attack, you become uncloaked, and then you can be shot by other players, and some of the NPCs are like guards that will also shoot at you. But the idea here is to it's sort of like a spy versus spy type thing, like an X versus Sever type of thing, where
Jesus. only you would reference X versus Sever
in the year 2023.
I know.
Because you know what? That really explains it to everyone.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone gets it now. Like,
it's like an X versus Sever situation.
Right.
Makes perfect sense.
No.
Now
Phil and I got that right at the exact same time.
I wasn't really sure what he was talking about, but
I was
when
waiting for your reaction when
you
I
put
said
it in
X
terms of
versus
X
Sever.
versus Sever. Suddenly, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's right.
CJ and I are the two people who saw that in the theater.
I know.
The two people.
Yeah. I actually kind of liked that movie. I thought it was pretty.
I don't remember anything about it.
All I remember is Lucy Liu using a Gatling gun, and that was pretty.
That's the one thing I remember.
That's the only thing I remember.
That's
and
exactly
Antonio
it.
Banderas was somewhere in there too.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are each round there are sort of 3 stages. One is you have to gather the intelligence and unlock the vault, or like reveal the vault.
Oh,
And all
just
the
like X versus Sever.
exactly. And
Oh.
then
Oh, now that makes sense.
there is a phase where you have to enter the vault and steal a package. It depends exactly what the package is it varies level by level. And then you have to extract with the package safely. So
Mm,
you have 10 players, or in team games you can have up to 12, where it's 4 teams of 3.
mm,
And it's it's a pretty entertaining game, I gotta say. Like, you basically have to pretend that you're an NPC. And I don't know if you remember that Assassin's Creed multiplayer game that kind of did something like this. And no, then there was what is it, Christopher Heck, the guy who said two GameCubes, or two GameCubes
Duct
duct
tape
taped
together.
together. He made a game that was kind of similar to this as well.
mm.
But yeah, I love the art style. It's very cartoony, and it sort of plays up this sort of 70s kind of pulp spy thriller aesthetic. And I really kind of enjoy it, even though I've only won once. I only extracted with the package once, and I think I've played like 20 games. But it's incredibly fun because you can sort of follow people around and like ask yourself, is this the computer controlling this character, or is it a real person behind it? And you can kind of like watch their movement. It cloaks you in an NPC where, like, it doesn't matter where you are looking or if you're aiming your weapon or whatever, like the NPC will always be facing the direction you're moving. So you could be like looking backwards and moving, you could be moving backwards, but you will appear like your NPC character is moving forwards. So you can kind of look behind you and all this stuff. It's sort of independent of your of your of your viewpoint. So, but hey, I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun little multiplayer game. I don't think it has any reviews on Metacritic, which seems like a failure of marketing. But I've been following this game since the couple betas that they've done and quite enjoyed them. So I'm having fun with it. Deceive Inc. is the name of the game. It's out on everything except for Switch.
Hmm.
And then I also played, of course, Sea of Thieves.
Here we go.
Yes, they season 9
Remember
started
when
up.
CJ wasn't on the show last week?
Exactly. Season 9 started up. I hadn't actually had a chance to play very much of it until this weekend, when a bunch of folks from the Keelhauled podcast Discord kind of got together, and we got 2 galleons on the same server. So there were 8 of us in a Discord chat playing on the same server, which was a lot of fun. And they made a lot of like fun quality of life improvements to the game with the harpoons and with balancing and some of the world events of the game. And so it was good to be able to take a look at that stuff for the first time. And this past weekend was a community event where they did like a double gold and double rep weekend. So those are always fun to play during. Yeah, and Microsoft put out an hour-and-a-half documentary on the making of Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Oh,
that.
yes.
I do want to see that.
That's on YouTube, and I've only watched a little bit of it so far, but it's really cool. They have like early playtest footage, and they show the first time they showed it to Microsoft executives as well, like
Yeah.
Matt Booty and Kudo Tsunoda were there, and Phil Spencer, and they like show their reactions of playing a version of Sea of Thieves that's like very rough. It's like a prototype build, but you can kind of see the seeds of what the game would become later. And of course, it's one of Microsoft's biggest releases from the past 15 or so years. Certainly their biggest title on Xbox One. So yeah, it's still kicking, still going 5 years later. I'm still playing the heck out of it, although not as much as I was before. But it's
Hate to
still
see it.
such a great game. Such a great game.
How many hours
And
do you have in it right now? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it's still hovering around 3,000 or 4,000.
My goodness.
But the vast majority of that is like in the first 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So, yeah. But friend of the show, Captain Logan, is in the documentary.
Oh, is that right?
Cool.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so congrats to him, and everybody should check it out. I think a lot of people may have passed on Sea of Thieves. Season 9 is a good place to jump in. They made things a lot easier for solo players and rebalanced some stuff to make it easier. So yeah, it's good. It's a good time. Anyway, that is what I've been playing. So Greg,
Yellow.
what do you got for us?
Well, I played some more Gran Turismo 7 because our league had the second race of the season, which I won. So pretty happy about that.
congratulations.
Thank you. The replay is up on my YouTube channel if anybody wants to enjoy that. A couple of older games this week. On Thursday, I streamed El Viento for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Which that's a pretty cool little game. I mean, I played it before. It was requested by a streamer called G to the Next Level, who is I don't know if he's a scoop, but his wife, Ranchan, I think she was going to Scoop Fest all the years that we went.
Yep.
She was there. But G's a great guy. And he had made a donation a while back, and he's all about the Genesis. If you go to his channel, I mean, G to the Next Level, if you think about where that name comes from, it's very similar to Sega's slogan, obviously, from the Genesis era. He's got, I think his claim to fame is he's got like a full American set of Genesis.
Oh, wow.
Genesis games.
Huh.
But anyway, super nice guy. And yeah, so he requested El Viento. I think it's a game that he really enjoys. So I spent a while playing that. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it except that I'd forgotten how cool some of the bosses were in that game. The boss fights in that game were really interesting. Each one of them was quite unique. You have some that are just sort of characters that are the same size as your main character. But like some of them you're fighting on like disappearing platforms, so you can end up sort of falling and ending up in this little valley while you're getting attacked. And then there was like this big sort of gelatinous cube thing with all these robots in it that you'd have to knock out of the way, but would eventually rebound back at you, and that's how you got damaged. And there was just some cool bosses. And later on, I think the last boss I fought was an interesting mixture of having to use magic and your attacks. So Annette is actually the name of the main character. She fires using boomerang, or she fights using boomerangs. And this one boss that you end up fighting, it's generating bubbles, and if you fire your boomerangs, they actually grab them and hold them. And the only way to get rid of them is to use your magic, which is another button that you have to charge up. So you use the magic and you can get those boomerangs back, and then you have like a few seconds to get a few shots off before they'll grab the boomerangs again. It's just a really interesting set of bosses, and I'd forgotten that because it's basically a telegames. It's a wolf team, actually. Game creative staff, wolf team.
Creative staff.
Exactly. It's a wolf team game. But it's very much a telegames. Telenet game.
Yeah.
It feels like Valis in a lot of ways,
right.
The Valis games. And it sounds so much like all of those Wolf Team and Telenet games, like the sound engine they use. They had a very specific sound to them. And it's got tons of cutscenes with gigantic, beautiful imagery of the characters, and they're lengthy even on the cartridge versions. So I played that for about an hour and 15 minutes of my 90-minute stream. And then just for funsies, decided to fire up some Ernest Evans.
Oh, stay
because
on that.
This is, of course, it's part of a trilogy. Ernest Evans, El Viento, and I don't know if it's just called Annette Furitabi or it's Annette again.
Yeah.
Ernest Evans, though, its claim to fame, at least for me and my circle of friends, is it was a Mega CD game to begin with.
Mhm.
and it was one that Game Fan pushed hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Like it was what's that PlayStation game that we always joke about them pushing?
Oh,
Portal Runner?
No, not Portal Runner.
no, the little
an import.
platformer.
It's an
Oh,
import.
shit.
Anyway, this was that for them before that. Like
Yeah.
this was the Mega CD game that they clearly ordered a lot of and had to sell. Die Hard Game Club had to sell.
It wasn't Hammer and Harry, but it
No,
was
not Hammer and
something
Harry.
similar to
Something
that,
like that.
right? It was
Anyway, so I remember one of the things that Wolf Team and Telenet was doing was they would release Mega CD games, but then they would eventually release cartridge versions of them. Like when you bought the Sega CD in the US, it came with Sulfies. It was a pack-in, it was just a shooter.
Was it Little Ralph?
No, it wasn't Little Ralph.
No.
No, it wasn't Little Ralph.
Then they re-released that in the US through the Renovation label as Soldice, and it was just basically the Sega CD game without the Red Book audio and a lot of the cinematic stuff cut.
Hermie Hopperhead.
Hermie Hopperhead. That's what it was. This was their Hermie Hopperhead before there was Hermie Hopperhead. Anyway, so Ernest Evans was one of those games that they just talked up like crazy, and it looked decent in still images, and of course the animation stuff looked fantastic. But this was another one of those games that Renovation eventually released here on cartridge only. The Sega CD version never came here, but the cartridge version came here. And I remember when that came out, renting that and being so excited to finally, because I was a big Game Fan guy, finally get to play this Mega CD masterpiece on my Genesis. And what a pile of crap. And playing it again. So it's an Indiana Jones takeoff, basically. Like that Ernest Evans is Indiana Jones, for better or worse. Anime Indiana Jones. But it's this weird side-scrolling action platformer where they're using segmented sprites. Like the animation system is all like tweens on a character that is like his arms are separate sprites, his legs are separate sprites. His
Looks like a marionette.
He looks like a marionette.
very
Yeah,
much.
exactly. And it just, God, it's awful. And I knew it was bad, but I hadn't played it in 30 some odd years, and I'd forgotten how bad it really was.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to relive that. And
well,
to have
it's different
the
experience when you don't have the Red Book audio,
Right.
and you don't have those sweet scrolls that are afforded to you when you're running off of CD.
Remember how much they loved Wonder Dog?
Yeah,
I know. That was another one where I finally played it and couldn't understand what they loved so much about that game.
Quintessential Euro platformer.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was. But El Viento is good. El Viento is a lot of fun. And the other game, I mentioned that I was going to start this now that I finished Metroid Prime. I talked about that last week. Excuse me. I had recently streamed Alien Isolation on a previous donor request night, and decided, I got a taste for it. It's like I really want to go back and play this. So I started Alien Isolation in earnest this past week.
Ernest Evans?
Yes, Ernest Evans. That must be why the word was in my mind. And
Ernest movies.
I said this. Hey man, Ernest Goes to Camp was great. I'd said this previously when I was talking about it, and it wasn't all that long ago, where like I'm still so taken aback by how perfectly, I think it was Creative Assembly that developed this game.
Yes.
How perfectly they managed to capture the vibe of the first two movies in the Alien series, because it takes place in between Alien and Aliens. You're playing as Amanda Ripley, which is of course Ellen Ripley's daughter, who, if you watch the director's cut of Aliens, you learn how old she was when she died, and you see a picture of her when Ellen Ripley finds out her daughter's dead. But yeah, so you're playing as Amanda Ripley. So you're in this time frame between the first and second movie, and I still just can't get over, like, you're on this space station called Sevastopol, and it looks like it belongs in both movies. Like it's so perfectly made and the atmosphere is so wonderful. The music and the lighting and everything, like it's stunning how well it captures the feel of those first two movies, especially considering those first two movies were very different kinds of movies. But it feels like it fits right in. If there's the only thing I would say that I don't think is disappointing, but it's more of a product of its time, is that the game is just old enough that the characters don't look amazing, especially the facial animation. The eyes and their mouths don't move right. But I mean, that's not really a complaint. It looks great for when it came out. I waited too long to play it, obviously, and I also love the fact that I think I'm 2 hours in, and up until this point, I had seen the alien's tail in one cinema scene, as it murdered one of the characters I was with. But I just finally saw the alien for the first time, about 2 hours in, and it was awesome. I'm enjoying it so much.
Oh, good.
It's great. So yeah, I can't wait to keep playing it and get through it. And then I really want to play the DLC, because there are 2 DLC packs in particular that are based on the first movie. And you actually play as the crew from the first movie in one of them. So
nice.
Which I love Alien. Alien is just one of my favorite movies.
Great movie.
And
It
so is
is,
Aliens.
yeah.
So.
Of course.
But yeah, that's basically all I've been playing, and that's going to be sort of what I'm focusing on for the next couple weeks, I think.
So none of us checked out Resident Evil 4 or the demo for that?
I didn't.
I checked out the demo.
The new... Oh, yeah? Okay.
I did. Did I not talk about that last week?
I don't think so.
Remember.
I
Oh,
don't think so.
maybe I forgot. Yeah, I checked. I swear I talked about it at some point
I
on
feel
here.
like you must have.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
you did.
But yeah.
But hey, it's out now.
I got so much
Hey
other
Phil.
stuff on my plate.
Yeah.
Hey Phil.
What?
What else you been playing?
I played some Dead Cells. Played a little. I played a little Tetris 99 the other day.
Ha ha.
They got a new unlockable theme, so I had to go get that.
For Fire Emblem Engage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got that. The best Tetris experience on the Switch, I would say.
No. No.
No.
The 99 best. And the
Did you just bring out Game Boy Tetris?
It does have the game. And again,
Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
point
the
this
best
out.
one. No offense.
Every time Nintendo kind of shot themselves in the foot with these new skins for Tetris 99, because they gave away the best one the first time.
Yeah.
Because once you get that Game Boy skin, there's no reason to use any other ones.
Well, next week the Tetris movie comes out for Apple TV Plus.
Oh, that's right.
And it's a shame they don't bring back or maybe they are going to, I don't know, bring back the Game Boy skin as something you can win in an event. I think you can unlock it via credits now, or something. You can unlock it separately. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think the next week and a half will be filled with a lot of people talking about Tetris.
Oh yeah,
undoubtedly.
I mean, it's no Tetris Connect or Tetris Effect connected.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay. Actually, you know what? I played a few rounds of Tetris Effect Connected this week as well.
Yeah.
On your PSVR too?
No, I just played it on my computer here. Just the regular way. Just because it's a good game.
It is a good game.
It is a good game.
I don't know if you've played that, but it's a good version of Tetris.
Now, since the patch we released in February, you can play Classic Score Attack in a solo mode. You don't have to do it multiplayer. So, yeah, it's like playing NES Tetris with those traditional rules from back in the 8-bit days. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
There you go.
The main thing I've been playing this week. You know what? I'll mention this too before I go into Bayonetta Babies. But
Bayonetta Babies,
they'll make your dreams come true. The 3DS eShop We have a couple hours left, probably, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
It's going away, baby. Say your farewells. Get your. I mean, it's if you're listening to this when we release the audio version, you're already too late. I'm sorry,
It's already too late. Yeah.
but I hope you went online, and I hope you downloaded everything you need from that 3DS eShop. It's so sad. I went on right before the show. I bought one last thing for my 3DS.
Which is what?
The last thing I purchased was a copy of Gurumin 3D, A Monstrous Adventure, which is a 3DS port of Gurumin, which was originally released for the PSP
Right.
years upon years ago. It's a Falcom game. The good folks who
You
brought
don't even
us
like
eased.
Falcom games.
What's that?
You don't even like Falcom games.
I don't. They're all terrible. But I figured this one, it was $2.
Oh,
$2 for a game from the Ease folks. So fare thee well, my
Nice.
precious
3DS.
3DS eShop. So I damn near maxed out the number of icons you can have on the 3DS home screen.
Right.
Because I was going nuts picking this up. Oh, Joe, Gurumin. Joe
Gurumin.
in the chat.
Gurumin. Yes.
Gurumin. But yeah, just because I was going crazy picking up games, making sure I had everything I wanted. So goodbye,
Good.
3DS eShop.
3DS is so good.
I know.
It's such a great system.
It's a great system.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, the 3D effect is still kind of really neat to see in person.
Yeah.
I still like that 3D effect.
Well, and there are some games that really shine with that.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
Mario 3D Land and Link Between
Absolutely.
Worlds and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Yeah.
Perfect with that too.
I really need to sit down and spend a couple hours and play through Attack of the Friday Monsters.
Oh, that's such a good game.
I know, and I've heard nothing but the highest praise for it. I've had it sitting on my damn system here for years.
Yep.
And I don't know why I never just sat down and played through it, but boy, I really need to.
Yes, you do. You do.
So, yeah, I got to do that. Maybe I'll carve out some time to do that this week. I should.
It's not a long game.
No, I've heard it's only like 3 hours or so.
Something like that. I mean, if I finished it, you definitely should.
Oh yeah,
finish it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just it's me just needing to sit down and commit the time to it.
Totally.
But like I said, I've been playing some Bayonetta babies. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, which now I just barely scratched the surface of it last week, and this week I've actually kind of gotten into the meat of the game. And it's a fun game. It is charming as heck. It is cute and sweet and fun. And surprisingly tricky. Because it starts off very simple. You're just kind of walking around, getting storybook narration. And then all of a sudden, when you meet up with the titular lost demon, they throw like a zillion different play mechanics at you.
I mean, it is a platinum game, so
Yeah, I know, right?
Checks out.
But so I'm assuming you guys don't know the gameplay gimmicks of this.
No,
because you don't care. You don't care about platinum games. But I'm going to tell you about it because it's quite clever. So, little Cereza, young Bayonetta, she's got her little stuffed like teddy bear monster, her little patchwork doll that is possessed by a demon. And when you get into battles, the demon does the battling for you. But the way it works is, she's carrying around this little plush the whole time, and while you're carrying it around, you can use the right analog stick to sort of extend it out and kind of wave it around to pick up items and that sort of thing. And then Bayonetta herself can use a little magic attack, which will affect the environment in certain situations. But whenever you want, you can hit one of the shoulder buttons, and it will cause the little doll to, boom, transform into the giant monster. At which point, your left stick continues to control Cereza as she walks around, but the right stick controls the big monster. And you use the left trigger button to have Cereza do her magic. You use the right trigger to have the monster do his little slashing attack. So you are controlling two characters simultaneously, which is really neat and a bit confusing, and it takes a little bit to get used to because there are some enemies where they cannot be harmed unless you use Cereza's magic to sort of bind them into place, and then the monster can attack them and do damage. Or there are a lot of environmental puzzles, because you'll be walking around and they'll be like, oh, this is an area that's full of plants that the demon doesn't like. So you have to sort of bring him back into doll form and find a little cliff that you can toss him up onto and then turn him back into a monster and have him walk a different route while Cereza's walking through another route, and then have them sort of meet back up together. So there's all sorts of environmental puzzles and things like that. And it's very clever and it's very cute. And I'm having quite a bit of fun with it. So
interesting.
Yeah. It's very, very, very different from the Bayonetta games, both in terms of tone and gameplay.
Right.
And yeah, I think if you are into charming little action platformer type games, even if you're not familiar with the Bayonetta series, it's probably worth checking out. So I'm having a good time with it.
Cool.
So choke on it. What do you think about that?
It took a turn at the end.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I've been playing. I've just been mostly having fun with Bayonetta Origins. That's it.
I see. Okay.
I don't what else do you people want from me?
We didn't even want that much.
Well, you got it. Consider that a free bonus.
There you go. Alrighty, then I guess that means
What?
it's
Here it
time for
comes.
tweets.
Tweets and toots.
Let me put this to CJ, because you don't seem as sold on Bayonetta Origins as you should be.
Okay.
It's kind of like Cereza is X,
Oh.
and the demon is kind of like Sever.
Oh, then I'm in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to work together, just like how X and Sever ended up working together.
Oh.
You would think they're versus each other, but it's only when they're together they can defeat their. Was there a common enemy? Did they team up?
They did, yeah.
I remember nothing about that movie.
I'm pretty sure they did team up.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway.
Tweedly deedly dee. A tweedly deedly dee. Tweet. 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 Tweet.
The name of that movie was Ballistic X versus Sever.
They went ballistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the game came out like a year before the movie came
I
out.
think it may have,
something like
may have
that.
even been longer than that.
May have been longer than that. Yeah.
Wasn't there what was that? The Sound of Thunder?
Sound of Thunder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did that movie ever even come out?
Yes, it did, because I
Yeah.
saw it.
Oh,
in the
okay.
theater.
Terrible. I was so sad about that because I love that story.
Yeah.
Did
Terrible
the
movie, my
game come
God.
out? Because there was a game based on it at
The
one
game never
point.
came out. No.
I remember-
the game
yeah, I
never
remember
came out?
I remember covering that game like in previews.
I'm pretty sure it never came out. No.
Oh, because that was that a GBA game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sound of Thunder.
But there was a
GBA.
PlayStation 2.
No, it came out 2004.
Wait, it came out?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guarantee Ethan reviewed it.
Oh, wow.
No, it didn't come out till 2004. So
When did the movie come out?
the
Movie
came out
2005.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005.
So it's
Huh.
another X versus Sever situation.
I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie has some of the worst CG and effects.
Like I said,
I've
such a
ever
cool
seen.
story and just
So
such
bad.
such a shame.
Yeah. Maybe they'll
And-
try again.
And X versus Sever, the game, came out a year before the movie as well.
The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror segment based on A Sound of Thunder was a million times better than the movie.
Yes.
Oh.
Not hard to do. Not hard to do. All right. I'm not sure what tweets you did last week. I don't remember. Did you
neither.
do one about The Last of Us? TV show?
Yes.
Maybe. By the way, I finished The
Yeah, we
Last
did.
of Us TV show.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Congratulations.
Yeah. I really liked it. No surprise.
Yes, it's quite
there.
good.
It's quite good. I think the tweet, let's just do the tweet again.
Jeez Louise.
Because why not? Before The Last of Us
I
aired.
mean, I have some reasons why not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listener Grant says before The Last of Us aired, many people were wondering why they'd watch a TV show that just faithfully adapts a video game since they already knew the story bits and outcome. Now that its first season has ended, did you enjoy the show, even knowing how it would go? I would say absolutely.
That's what
And
we said.
What did you
That's what we
guys say
said,
last week?
Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a bit more, but
Yeah.
yeah. Please
Well,
refer to the previous episode.
the funny thing is now there's apparently an F1 podcast that's calling itself P1.
I've noticed that.
podcast.
Yes.
So now when I do a search for the tweets, now it comes out with a bunch of F1 stuff.
Yeah. And I always have to like,
Very,
What?
very
have you
confusing.
not noticed this, Greg?
No.
Yeah, there's some racing podcast that uses the at P1 podcast, like or hashtag P1 podcast.
Yeah.
And whenever I look up
Lame.
like, oh, what are people tweeting at us? There's always a ton of stuff about F1. And then I have to sit and read it and like, is this the people talking about this other podcast, or are these people talking to Greg about racing games?
We're about racing, right?
Yeah.
They literally started in February this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
now we have a new rival, and I want to see if I can, and I want to see if I can get on their show.
Yeah, exactly. Greg is gonna. Oh,
You absolutely should.
we can get you in there
We
and you
need
can
a
take him down
crossover.
from the inside.
Somebody start using the hashtag to bring these two shows together. It'll be weird if I do it.
You know what?
That's right.
We
That's
need
right.
to start calling ourselves the real P1 podcast.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this one from listener Dennis, who says, for years, gaming magazines would call various games the Halo killer. Who ended up
Every
being the
shooter,
real?
every AAA shooter that came out after Halo.
I know. Yeah, pretty much. Who ended up being the real Halo killer? Call of Duty or 343 Industries? Ouch.
Oh my!
Wow.
Ouch.
That's some shade, but
That
not
is some
wrong.
definite
My
shade.
goodness.
Destiny clearly is the Halo killer. No.
Is it?
I'm glad they kind of stopped saying that.
Well,
I guess magazines died before they.
Well, and the
That's
other
part of
the
it.
oth- I mean, I think honestly, even though it's a bit of a joke, I mean, I think it's true. Like the returns, the law of diminishing returns on Halo games,
Yeah.
it dropped off so badly after like the third or fourth game
Yeah.
that Halo Killer doesn't mean anything anymore.
No.
It's not this all conquering franchise that it once was. So
Yeah, and before that, it was all about Mario killers. Like, is this going to be the Mario 64 killer?
right.
Even Luigi's Mansion, I think, was judged. The GameCube was judged on not having a Mario killer.
Well, we were supposed to get 100 Marios.
We're supposed to get
Yeah.
Mario 128 or whatever.
128 is that what it was? I thought it was just called 100 Marios.
Maybe, yeah. That never happened, I guess. Was that a real game? Was that or was that
No,
just a tech
I
demo?
think that was
It had
only
to have
ever a
been a tech
demo.
demo.
I thought, yeah, I thought
It was
that
a real game as much as that Zelda demo was a real game.
Oh yeah. Well, the real Mario
Wow.
64 killer was 40 winks on the PS1.
40 winks.
40 winks.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Move over, Mario.
40 winks. God. Mm. What was that
Did
other
they use
game?
that slogan or something? Move
What's
over
that?
Mario? Move
It
over,
was
Mario?
it was a quote. It's on the front of the package. Well, I guess on the front of the instruction manual.
Mhm.
It says "Move over, Mario," and it was a quote from Nintendo Official Magazine.
I
Uh-huh.
assume a European magazine.
I would imagine so.
Trying,
Yeah.
that just reminds me of, I'm trying to remember what it was. I want to say it was Awesome Possum, but I'm looking it up and that's not the case.
Yeah.
But there was some mascot platformer that didn't have any business comparing itself to Mario and Sonic,
Right.
but that used images of Mario and Sonic in its ads
Oh,
to
really?
call
Oh,
out that it was
yeah.
going to be better. I thought it was Awesome Possum, but I don't see. I just looked up the ad and I
Was
don't
this-
see it.
Was it the one like it didn't use like their full bodies, right?
No, it used actual images of them.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, like to the
'Cause
point that it feels like they needed to license them. But I don't
Because I
know.
remember there was one
What game was that?
platformer ad that used like there'd be like a
Oh, yeah, like
Mario's
there was-
glove or
And Sonic
Yeah.
had run away, and there was a little speech bubble that said, "I'm out of here" or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I do remember
Yeah.
that too, but I can't remember what it
Yeah, I don't
would
remember.
have been. Awesome Pot. Anyway, that's immediately came to mind when you said the Lookout Mario.
Tonic Trouble from Ubisoft. That's
Tonic Trouble.
Awesome
Yeah, no.
Pop Kicks Dr. Machino's butt. The full title of that game. So
Did you
please show it the
by the
proper
way,
respect.
speaking of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, or I was
Nobody was
reminded of
speaking
that.
about Dr.
I was
Robotnik's Mean Bean
reminded
Machine.
about that from what you were saying. Did you see the Meat Boy developers are doing like a
Oh yeah,
puzzle
doing
game?
a Puyo Puyo clone.
They're doing
Oh, are they
sort of
really?
Puyo Puyo clone, and the title of it is like an homage to Dr. Robotnik's
like
Mean Bean Machine.
Mean Meat Machine, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Dr.
Nice.
Fetus's Mean Meat Machine.
That's the
That's
one.
gross.
I mean, of course it is. It's an Edmund McMillan game, so it's a Team Meat title. It's got to be gross, right?
Yes.
Right. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very
Well,
much
that's
for
it, huh?
listening. If you have a question for us, would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can direct that to @P1 Podcast at mastodon.social. That's also a thing that you can do. And hey, we also have an internet website, player1podcast.com. There you'll find the contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward. You'll find Generation 16 episodes there as well. And you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about, including a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
I just typed in 16-bit video game ads into
I'm
Google
doing
image
the
search,
exact same thing.
and I'm just having a blast looking at all these horrible
Oh, it's the best time. What a time to be
horrible
alive.
ads.
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh boy. I'll tell you what though, if you'd like to subscribe to Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio or on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com. You can watch us live most weeks on the the YouTubes, the Twitters, Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, all over the darn place. Just follow our Twitter account or our Mastodon account at P1 Podcast. Not the race car one.
No.
Or not
Yeah.
Although, like I said, start a writing campaign. Get me on there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have someone from the real P1 Podcast on your racing show. You Johnny come latelys.
So diplomatic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Your show's terrible. I think Greg will improve it. Typically we record at 5:30 specific time every Sunday. But again, follow those accounts to find out when we're doing a next live show. Hey, and you know what? If you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast, throw a few shekels our way. Maybe we can grease a few palms and get Greg on that show. Everybody speaks the language of cold, hard cash.
Nickels, nickels, nickels.
Oh, that
I
beautiful
love the
sound.
sound of plinking nickels.
Oh, how I love that sound.
Oh,
There we go. Look at that.
there you go. You really had it right there.
A tin bank that has Lucy Van Pelt.
If anyone was going to own that, it was going to be you.
Oh, how I
That's
love
very
that
nice.
sound.
Nickels, nickels, nickels.
Nickels, nickels, nickels.
I love that. That's great.
I love it. I bought this at a Hallmark store years ago. Because
That's amazing.
how do you
They have
not
some
have
great peanut stuff at Hallmark every Christmas. They have
Oh,
great
absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely. Oh, how I love that sound. Let me refocus my camera there. Oh, it doesn't
There we
want
go.
to.
Yeah.
I'm in soft focus now. I look like a
Tilt
a
shift.
lady on the old Star Trek show when Kirk.
gonna say. You look like you're on moonlighting.
Thank you. Tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over to. Oh no, I got to talk about what our Patreon funds are actually for. It supports our show. It keeps us streaming. It's all those hidden costs. My camera's not going to refocus. Forget it.
No.
But I'll tell you what. If you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games, crack wise, having fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ,
Yeah.
do we have a game this week?
We do have a game, Phil.
Oh, good. What is it?
We have a Jeopardy game that is memes from the Player One Podcast Discord community. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, I'm going to do terrible at this.
Yeah, me
gonna-
too.
I think I might also do poorly at
Okay.
this, but we will see. Our Discord community has its own sort of culture,
Yeah.
and we will be quizzed upon it and
Oh.
probably lose. So.
Yeah, I will do very,
This
very
will be
bad
like
at
that
this.
quiz for the games of the year polls that none of us take part in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is from
Exactly.
hacker alias Compo.
Okay.
Oh, I already hate it.
I already hate it. Yeah. So we're
good.
destined to lose, but it'll be funny, maybe.
Please tune in
Yes.
to watch us humiliate ourselves because we don't know our own Discord
'Cause we
channel.
don't do that every week anyway.
Yeah.
If you like what you've heard and how could... No, wait. I already did that part.
Yeah.
If you have a couple bucks left over, that's where we are.
Mm.
Head over to patreon.com/Greg Stewart to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding web series. And you know what? It actually is outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
Yep.
And if you support the show to the tune of $5 a month,
Also cheap.
that was a sly attempt to try to get your camera to refocus.
Also cheap.
You get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a weekly vlog series that I do, talking about everything I'm working on at the moment, along with anything else I can think of, to be honest. What's up, Phil?
I'm trying to get my camera to refocus.
Okay. Yeah, and what I've been doing for the last little while is going through a bunch of the old video game reviews I did for a Gaming Age, which was the site where I got my start in the video game industry. Also, I for a while I was reposting older weekly commutes on YouTube, and the old ones kind of sucked, but I'm going to start doing that again because I've actually gotten to the point where it's been a little over a year since I did a game room tour.
Oh,
for the weekly commute. It's about an hour long, and I'm looking to get that posted sometime this week. So please check that out when it goes live. But yeah, your funds go to help the show and help me create more content. Things like Adobe subscriptions and any games. I grabbed another laser active game that I needed to cover at some point in the near future, and that's what those funds are for. So please consider supporting the show.
Very nice.
very good.
Okay, that it?
That's
I think
it.
that's it.
CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Did you enjoy the Game Developer Conference?
I did. Yes.
I'm glad to hear it.
I did not actually go to the show itself. I was there demoing Humanity for press and whatnot, and
Now, what's that?
I was on the Kind of Funny showcase that they
Oh.
did for GDC. So that was pretty fun.
Very nice.
And yeah, it was super cool. Yeah,
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
Gregory.
Yo,
Thank you.
thank you, Philip.
Hey, you got it, dude. And a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single one of you. Remember, as always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. And by golly, we hope to see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Toodaloo.